A day in the god realm is a year in the mortal realm. Sitting upon the throne in the sea god's temple, I often gaze at the flow of time on Dulo continent. For mortals, a single lifetime is fleeting. But for us gods, every moment carries the weight of cause and effect. And yet in all these years as a god realm law enforcer, there has never been a youth who drained my energy as much as Huo Yuhao. His so-called 26 days of ascension, for me, it was 26 years of endless schemes, worries, and frustration. Sometimes I ask myself, was I calculating fate, or was I simply protecting my precious daughter, Tang Wutong? Perhaps both. After all, being a father-in-law is more exhausting than being a god. Day 1. The birth of an unremarkable child. On the first day, my divine sense swept across the mortal world. In the Duke's mansion of the Star Luo Empire, a frail infant cried into the night. Huo Yuhao, a pitiful child born of an unwanted concubine, huddled with his mother in a cold side courtyard. His fate seemed ordinary, almost invisible. I barely spared him a thought, tapping the light curtain before me. The Tang sect's future? Surely it wouldn't rest on such a fragile seed. But destiny has a way of mocking even gods. Day 2 to day 10, a childhood of misery. The next few days I observed more closely. This boy endured torment beyond reason. Servants kicked him as if he were a stray dog, and the Duchess vented her hatred on him daily. His fists clenched, his lips bled, yet his eyes burned silently with defiance. By the 6th day, when he awakened the spirit eyes, I was shaken. This spirit, mysterious, unfathomable. The Tianmeng ice silkworm's shadow flickered faintly within. I realized then, this child was not ordinary. The Tang sect's declining fate. Perhaps it would once again blaze because of him. But though the seed had sprouted, the storm around him only grew fiercer. I restrained myself, refusing to intervene, for only through suffering could his roots grow deep. Day 11, a step from death. On the 11th day, I nearly lost him. Cast out of the Duke's mansion, his body fevered and frail, he wandered into the star-dew great forest. His soul flickered like a candle in the wind, moments from extinguishing. Against my duty as a law enforcer, I let a wisp of my divine power fall, preserving his fragile life. When he fused with the Tianmeng ice silkworm's million-year spirit ring, the entire continent trembled. Even I, Tang San, double god of law enforcement, was shaken. I had underestimated him. This boy carried more than mortal destiny. He carried echoes of powers beyond even my comprehension. And then, he entered Shrek Academy. That should have reassured me. But what unsettled me most was not his cultivation. It was his proximity to someone very dear to me. My daughter, Tang Wutong, disguised as a man. My grip on the sea god trident tightened that day. Fate, it seemed, had a cruel sense of humor. Day 12 to 13, love and the first test. In the far north, under the guidance of Tianmeng, Yuhao obtained the Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion as his second spirit. The elements themselves shuddered. By then I was certain this boy would rise higher than any mortal of his age. But fate played another card. The three-eyed golden lion, the auspicious beast, crossed paths with him. I watched my daughter's heart waver, and fury surged within me. Could my Tang family's daughter be swayed so easily? So I set my first trial. I sealed Wutong's consciousness within the auspicious beast. If this boy truly wished to walk alongside her, he would need to prove himself in the torment of love. After all, no son-in-law of Tang San would pass untested. Day 14 to 16, schemes in the Sun-Moon Empire. Yuhao immersed himself in cultivation, training under the extreme individual soldier plan. His determination was worthy of admiration, but my watchful eyes grew sharp when he journeyed to the Sun-Moon Empire. There he subdued the Ice Snow Girl, another spirit. Yet what vexed me most was the foreign soul fragment within his mind, Electrolux, a remnant of another world. Such contamination was intolerable. To purge it, I threw him into the High Ocean sex trials, guiding Da Ming and Air Ming to temper him. In the flames of near death, Electrolux sacrificed himself, but in doing so, created a soul fusion unique to Yuhao. A disaster turned into an opportunity. Day 17, the confession and my fury. At the Sea God Festival, my daughter confessed to him, cheeks red, eyes firm. My fury nearly shook the temple pillars. Tang Wutong, child of the sea god and angel gods, destined for divine duties. How dare she succumb to worldly affection so easily? In anger, I placed her into deep sleep, intending to test Yuhao further. But when I saw him endure wounds beyond imagination, even seeking the acacia heartbreak red with crippled limbs, a flicker of regret stirred within me. Just a flicker, because fate had more torment in store. Day 18, sacrifice and awakening. When Wang Qiu'er, the auspicious beast in human form, sacrificed herself for him, Yuhao's cries shook heaven and earth. His anguish birthed his soul sage advancement. Watching him cradle her broken body, my heart softened, though I would not admit it. For those who achieve greatness must endure loss. His pain was also his forge. Day 19 to 25, War of the Sun-Moon Empire. The Sun-Moon Empire's ambitions flared into all-out war. Their hunger to unify the continent reminded me of Bibi Dong's dark days. I burned with anger, but as a law enforcer, I could not intervene. Still, fate twisted again. My old comrade Rong Nianbing secretly guided Yuhao with the divine sword technique. That act spared me countless headaches. During this time, I often extended my divine consciousness, secretly shielding my daughter when battles endangered her. Watching them fight side by side, struggling through life and death, I began to see a truth I had resisted. This boy's persistence was genuine. His heart, though battered, was steadfast. Yet my temper flared once more when Yuzi appeared, declaring Yuhao the father of her child. Rage nearly split the heavens. Without hesitation, I dragged Wutong back to the God realm. My daughter would not be humiliated by this entanglement. Day 26, Ascension and Reluctant Approval. At last, the golden light of Yuhao's victory over Ditian, the god of beasts, illuminated Duluo. His ascension to the god of emotions was inevitable. When he stepped into the god realm, battered but unbroken, I was waiting. One final trial I laid before him, not of strength, but of resolve. His eyes met mine, firm as steel, and in that moment, I saw the truth. Every trial I had devised, every cruelty I imposed, he had borne without resentment. For Wutong, for love. Turning away, I finally relented. Everything I have done is to make you worthy of her. Behind me, he rushed into my daughter's arms, and though I faced away, the corners of my lips betrayed me with a faint smile. Epilogue, the God of Double Standards. From abandoned child to deity in 26 days, Huo Yuhao's path was not just his own. It was a tapestry I wove with equal parts suspicion, calculation, and reluctant care. And now, netizens mock me as the God of Double Standards. Perhaps they're right. For the Tang family's daughter, I demanded a son-in-law who would endure the heaviest storms, and against all odds, he did. Life in the God realm is eternal. My role as a father-in-law has only just begun. For though he has ascended, polishing this boy into a true God worthy of Wutong, that, my friends, will be the work of an eternity. And that brings us to the end of Huo Yuhao's 26-day journey to godhood, seen through the eyes of Tang San. From the bitterness of a discarded child to the brilliance of the god of emotions, every step was filled with trials, pain, and love. And of course, my endless calculations as a father. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think my trials for Huo Yuhao were too harsh? Or do you agree that only through such tempering could he be worthy of my daughter Tang Wutong? This is Soul Land 2, where God's fate and love intertwine. Stay tuned for more deep dives into the world of Duluo. Until next time, this is the God of Double Standards, signing off.